The notification came at 2:47 a.m. Not a text. Not a call. A bank alert that made my blood freeze. Transaction approved, $15,000 wire transfer to Melissa Chen. Memo, our future. I stared at my phone in the dark, my husband breathing softly beside me. Marcus. My husband of 6 years. The man who'd promised me forever just last week at our anniversary dinner. Melissa Chen. My cousin. The woman who'd been my maid of honor. Who'd held my hand through my mother's funeral. Who'd stayed in our guest room just 3 weeks ago. I didn't wake him. I didn't scream. I just lay there in the darkness and felt the foundation of my life crack beneath me. Before I tell you what I found next, and how I made sure she paid first, tell me where you're listening from. Because what happened in the next 48 hours changed everything I thought I knew about family, loyalty, and revenge. My name is Diana, and until that night, I thought I had it all figured out. Marcus and I met in grad school. He was studying architecture, I was finishing my MBA. We had one of those relationships that made other people jealous, easy laughter, shared dreams, the kind of partnership where you finish each other's sentences. We got married at a vineyard in Napa. 200 guests, string quartet, the works. Melissa was right there beside me in dusty rows, crying during my vows, telling me I'd never looked more beautiful. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't announce itself. It wears the face of someone you love. After the wedding, Marcus and I built a life in Seattle. He made partner at his firm. I launched a consulting business. We bought a craftsman house with good bones and big windows. On paper, we were living the dream. Melissa was always around. Sunday brunches, holiday dinners, girls' nights when Marcus worked late. She was more than a cousin, she was my best friend. The person I told everything to. Including, apparently, too much. 6 months ago, she'd gone through a brutal breakup. Her fiancé left her for someone younger, and she was devastated. I opened our home to her. She stayed in our guest room for 3 weeks, crying on our couch, drinking our wine, letting me hold her while she fell apart. I don't know how I'll ever trust anyone again, she'd sobbed one night. Marcus had been so supportive. Making her breakfast, giving her space, even helping her move into her new apartment when she finally felt ready. You're lucky to have him, she'd said, squeezing my hand. He's one of the good ones. I'd smiled, proud. I know. What I didn't know was that while I was at work, while I was building my business and trusting my family, they were building something else entirely. After the bank alert, I couldn't sleep. I slipped out of bed at 4 a.m., went downstairs, and opened my laptop. Our finances were joint. Always had been. We'd built everything together, trusted each other completely. Which meant I had access to every account, every transaction, every digital footprint of our shared life. The $15,000 transfer wasn't the only one. I scrolled back. 3 months of statements. Small amounts at first, $500 here, $800 there. Restaurant charges at places we'd never been together. Hotel rooms. Flower deliveries. Then larger amounts. $3,000. $7,000. Always to Melissa. My hand shook as I clicked through. The memo lines told a story I didn't want to read. Apartment deposit. For us. New beginning. Can't wait to start our life. $27,000. Over 3 months. While I'd been working 70-hour weeks to grow my business, my husband had been funding my cousin's new life. Their new life. I pulled up his text messages. They'd been careful, mostly deleted. But Marcus wasn't as tech-savvy as he thought. The cloud backup told me everything. Marcus, she's working late again. Come over. Melissa, is it safe? What if she finds out? Marcus, she won't. She trusts us both too much. The words hit like a physical blow. She trusts us both too much. I scrolled further. Photos. The two of them in our guest room, the room where I'd held her while she cried. Videos I couldn't bring myself to watch. Plans for a trip to Thailand once the divorce is final. Divorce. He was already planning it. There was more. A lease agreement for a condo downtown. Both their names on it. Move-in date, 6 weeks from now. A prenup consultation request. He'd already met with a lawyer, asking how to minimize asset division and protect business interests. My business. The one I'd built from nothing while he climbed the corporate ladder. And at the bottom of a long thread, this message from Melissa. Melissa ****, I almost feel bad. She's been so good to me. ***. Marcus ***, don't. We deserve to be happy. She'll be fine. She's always fine. I closed the laptop as the sun came up. Marcus appeared in the kitchen at 7:30, already dressed for work, smelling like expensive cologne. Morning, babe. He kissed the top of my head. You're up early. I looked at him. Really looked at him. At the man who'd promised me forever. Who'd held my hand at my mother's funeral. Who'd toasted to us against the world just 7 days ago. Couldn't sleep, I said. My voice sounded normal. Calm. Big client meeting today. You'll crush it. You always do. He grabbed his coffee, his briefcase. I'll be home late tonight. Partner dinner. Partner dinner. Or Melissa's apartment. I didn't ask which. Okay, I said. Love you. Love you too. The door closed behind him. The sound echoed in the suddenly enormous house. I sat at our kitchen table, the one we'd picked out together at an estate sale, the one we'd refinished on a sunny Saturday, and made a decision. I could confront them. Scream, cry, throw things. That's what they'd expect. What they'd probably already discussed. When Diana finds out, she'll lose it. She's so emotional. Or I could do something they'd never see coming. I opened my laptop again and started making calls. First, to my lawyer. Then to my accountant. Then to someone I never thought I'd need, a private investigator. By noon, I had a plan. But here's what they didn't know. I wasn't going to destroy Marcus first. I was going to destroy Melissa. The private investigator's name was Sarah Chin. No relation to Melissa, she'd assured me with dark humor when I'd explained the situation. We met at a coffee shop in Fremont, far from anyone who might recognize me. How long do you think this has been going on? Sarah asked, notepad open. At least 3 months. Maybe longer. I slid my phone across the table. I have text backups, bank statements, cloud photos. But I need more. I need irrefutable proof. Sarah scrolled through my phone, her expression never changing. She'd seen this before. Many times. This is good documentation, she said. But if you want to really nail them, especially her, we need to establish a pattern. Timeline. Intent. Premeditation. What do you mean? You said she stayed in your guest room during her breakup. Sarah made air quotes. When exactly was that? I pulled out my phone calendar. March 15th through April 5th. 3 weeks. Sarah made a note. And when did the financial transfer start? I checked the bank statements again. March 20th. 5 days after she moved in. Sarah looked up. So she wasn't recovering from a breakup. She was setting up her affair. In your home. The words settled over me like ice water. She planned this, I whispered. She absolutely planned this. And that makes her vulnerable in ways your husband isn't. Over the next 2 weeks, Sarah worked magic. She pulled phone records showing that Melissa and Marcus had been in contact for 6 months before her supposed breakup, texts, calls, even a weekend trip to Portland they'd taken while I was at a conference in Chicago. The breakup wasn't real. Her ex-fiancé hadn't left her. She'd left him. For my husband. Sarah tracked their movements. They met 3 times a week, always at Melissa's new apartment. The apartment I'd helped her find. The deposit Marcus had paid with our joint account. But the real breakthrough came when Sarah accessed Melissa's social media, not her public profiles, but her private Finsta account. "You need to see this," Sarah said, sliding her laptop across the table at our second meeting. The account was called at Living My Best Life 2024. Private. Only 40 followers. The photos made my stomach turn. Melissa and Marcus at restaurants. Melissa in lingerie with the caption, "He says I'm worth the wait." A photo of my house with the caption, "Soon this will all be behind us." But the worst was a selfie of Melissa holding up her phone, showing a text conversation with me. The caption read, "Playing the supportive cousin while living my truth." She has no idea. Face with tears of joy. The text she was showing? Me comforting her about her heartbreak. Me, "You deserve someone who sees your worth. He was an idiot to let you go." Melissa, "I just want to be loved like you and Marcus love each other." I'd sent that text 3 months ago. Right around the time she and Marcus were planning their future. Sarah watched my face. "Now you have premeditation. Fraud. And depending on how we play this, potentially theft." Theft? "She's been accepting money from your joint account under false pretenses. You thought you were helping family. She was funding an affair with your husband using your money." I leaned back. "Can we prove that legally? With what we have?" "Absolutely. The texts show intent. The bank records show the transfers. The social media proves she was aware of deceiving you. This isn't just infidelity. This is fraud." "What about Marcus?" Sarah's expression hardened. "He's guilty too. But he's a partner at an architecture firm. Good lawyer. Probably has connections. Taking him down will be harder. She, on the other hand." Sarah tapped the screen. "She's a social media manager making $55,000 a year. She's living in an apartment she can't afford without his money. And she's been broadcasting her crime to 40 of her closest friends." A plan began forming in my mind. What if we cut off her money first? Sarah smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "Now you're thinking strategically." The deeper I dug, the worse it got. My accountant, Patricia, found something I'd missed. 3 months ago, Marcus had opened a new business account, supposedly for a side consulting project. $43,000 had moved from our joint investments into that account. And then, systematically, into Melissa's account. "This isn't just an affair," Patricia said, her voice tight with anger. "This is financial abuse. He's been siphoning marital assets to fund his mistress." I stared at the spreadsheet. "Can I get it back? In the divorce?" "Maybe. But Diana." She hesitated. "There's something else. He's been paying for her health insurance. Her car payment. Even her student loans. All from joint funds. I'd been working 70-hour weeks. Skipping lunches. Canceling plans with friends to build my business. While Marcus used our money to build a life with my cousin." The rage came then. Not hot and explosive, but cold and calculating. I went home that night and acted normal. Made dinner. Asked about his day. Laughed at his stories. When he kissed me goodnight, I felt nothing. The next morning, I received a group text in the family chat. My aunt, Melissa's mother, was planning a surprise 60th birthday party for my uncle in 3 weeks. "Aunt Linda, family only. Can't wait to celebrate together. Melissa is helping me plan everything. Melissa, it's going to be beautiful. Family means everything. Red heart." I stared at that heart emoji for a long time. Then I replied, "Wouldn't miss it for the world. Let me know how I can help." Sarah called me that afternoon. I have something. Melissa applied for a joint credit card with Marcus last week. Used your marriage address as his residence. That's identity fraud. Is it enough? It's enough to file a police report. And with everything else we have. Sarah paused. Diana, if we do this right, we can have her arrested. My throat went dry. Arrested? She's committed multiple crimes. Wire fraud. Identity theft. Possibly extortion, depending on how we frame the financial coercion. And she's documented all of it on social media. But Marcus is guilty too. But he's also your husband. You have different leverage with him. Divorce. Asset division. Public humiliation. But Melissa? Sarah's voice was hard. She's not protected by marriage. She's just a criminal who happened to target her own family. I thought about that text. She trusts us both too much. How long would she serve? Wire fraud alone is up to 20 years federal. With identity theft added? We're talking serious time. Minimum 3 to 5 years if she takes a plea. 3 to 5 years. While I rebuilt my life. While Marcus watched what he'd done destroy someone he claimed to love. Let's do it, I said. That night, I couldn't sleep again. I kept thinking about Melissa as a kid. Family barbecues where we'd run through sprinklers. Sleepovers where we'd stay up telling secrets. The time she'd defended me against a bully in 7th grade. When had that person become this? Or had she always been this, and I'd just been too trusting to see it? My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus, sorry, running even later. This partner meeting is killing me. I checked his location. He was at Melissa's apartment. The partner meeting was killing him. The irony would have been funny if it didn't hurt so much. I opened my laptop and looked at everything Sarah had compiled. Text messages. Bank records. Videos. Social media posts. 3 months of systematic deception, documented in excruciating detail. The evidence was overwhelming. We could destroy her. Completely. Legally. But should I? I called my sister, Jennifer. She didn't know anything yet. I'd kept this secret locked tight, afraid that speaking it out loud would make it too real. Jen, I need to tell you something. And I need you to listen without interrupting. I told her everything. The affair. The money. The planning. The apartment. Melissa's role in all of it. When I finished, there was a long silence. That absolute bitch, Jennifer finally said. I never liked her. You know that, right? There was always something off about her. You never said anything. Because she was family. Because you loved her. And I thought maybe I was just being paranoid. Jennifer's voice cracked. I'm so sorry. What are you going to do? I can have her arrested. Wire fraud, identity theft. She could go to prison. Good. She deserves it. But she's family. She stopped being family the moment she fucked your husband in your guest room, Jennifer snapped. She made her choice. You didn't do this to her. She did this to herself. I wiped my eyes. Mom would have wanted me to forgive her. Mom would have wanted you to have self-respect. And Mom's not here. Jennifer's voice softened. Look, I know you're thinking about family loyalty. But Diana, what about loyalty to yourself? She used her kindness as a weapon. She laughed about deceiving you on social media. She's still doing it right now, probably lying in bed with your husband, planning how to take more from you. She was right. I knew she was right. I'm scared, I admitted. If I do this, if I press charges, the whole family will know. It'll be public. Humiliating. For her, Jennifer said firmly. It'll be humiliating for her. You're the victim here. She's the criminal. The next morning, I met with my lawyer, Catherine Morrison. She was 60, sharp as glass, with a reputation for winning impossible cases. I've reviewed everything your investigator sent, Catherine said. You have multiple options here. We can file for divorce immediately, seek full asset recovery, and pursue criminal charges against both of them. Or. She paused. We can be more strategic. Strategic how? Catherine smiled. Your husband doesn't know you know. Neither does Melissa. That gives us leverage. We can control the narrative. Choose when and how this comes out. I want Melissa to face consequences first, I said. Before Marcus even knows what's happening. Why? I thought about that question. Why did I want her to pay first? Because she betrayed me twice, I said slowly. As my husband's mistress and as my family. Marcus broke his vows. But Melissa broke something deeper. She came into my home, let me comfort her, take care of her, trust her. And the whole time, she was planning to take everything from me. Catherine nodded. All right. Here's what I propose. Your uncle's birthday party is in 2 weeks. That's a family event, correct? Yes. Why? Because that's where we make our move. We file criminal charges against Melissa the morning of the party. Wire fraud, identity theft, the works. The police will have a warrant ready. And we'll have someone serve it to her. Catherine's smile was sharp, in front of your entire family. My stomach dropped. That's devastating? Yes. But effective. It accomplishes several things. 1. She's arrested publicly, which means she can't spin the narrative or play victim. 2. Your family learns the truth all at once, with evidence already filed in court. 3. Marcus realizes you know, but he's powerless to protect her. And 4. You maintain the moral high ground. You're not the angry wife causing a scene. You're a crime victim seeking justice. What about Marcus? We file for divorce the same day. But here's the beautiful part, by the time he realizes what's happening, Melissa is already in custody. He can't warn her. Can't coordinate their stories. They're separated, vulnerable, and facing consequences alone. I imagined it. The party. My family gathered. Melissa probably planning to play the supportive cousin one more time. And then the police arriving. Won't they think I'm vindictive? Some might, Catherine admitted. But you're not doing anything illegal. She committed crimes. Real crimes. You're simply reporting them. The fact that she's family doesn't grant her immunity from the law. Sarah, my investigator, leaned forward. Diana, I've worked hundreds of infidelity cases. Most of them end with screaming matches and messy divorces. No one really wins. But this? This is different. You have the chance to do something most people only dream about, hold them actually accountable. Not just emotionally. Legally. I thought about Melissa's Instagram caption. Asterisk she has no idea. Let's do it, I said. File everything. I want her arrested at the party. Catherine pulled out a contract. Then we need to move fast. I'll coordinate with the prosecutor's office. Sarah will provide all evidence. And you need to do one thing. What? Act completely normal. For the next 2 weeks, you're the loving wife, the supportive cousin, the perfect family member. No confrontations. No hints. They need to feel completely safe. I could do that. I'd been doing it for months without even knowing. One more thing, Catherine said. Once this starts, there's no stopping it. Melissa will be arrested. There will be a trial. Your family will take sides. Your marriage will be public record. Are you absolutely certain? I thought about my mother, who'd taught me to be kind. To be forgiving. To put family first. Then I thought about Melissa's text, she trusts us both too much. I'm certain, I said. The next 2 weeks were the longest of my life. I woke up next to Marcus every morning and acted normal. Made coffee. Discussed weekend plans. Had dinner together. Even had sex once, which felt like the worst kind of betrayal, of myself, not him. But I needed him unsuspecting. One wrong move, one suspicious question, and he'd warn Melissa. They'd lawyer up, coordinate their defense, maybe even flee. So I became the perfect wife. You seem happier lately, Marcus said one morning, 3 days before the party. I smiled at him over my coffee. I've just been thinking about what's important, you know? Family. Us. The future. His face flickered with something, guilt, maybe, or fear. Yeah. Me too. Actually, I said, I was thinking we should start trying for a baby soon. The look on his face was almost worth everything. Pure panic, quickly masked. Really? I thought you wanted to wait until your business was more stable. Life's short, I said. Why wait for perfect timing? He mumbled something about discussing it later and practically ran out the door. I waited until I heard his car leave, then immediately texted Catherine, * he definitely looked spooked. Good, *. With Melissa, I had to be more careful. She was smarter than Marcus, more attuned to emotional shifts. I invited her to lunch 4 days before the party. We met at her favorite restaurant, the one Marcus had been taking her to, according to the credit card statements. Diana. She hugged me tight, all warmth and perfume. I've missed you so much. Work has been crazy. I know the feeling. I ordered the same wine she did, mirrored her body language, played the role perfectly. How are you doing? Really? I feel like we haven't talked in forever. She launched into a story about her job, her new apartment, her fresh start. Every word was a lie, but she told them beautifully. I'm just so grateful for family, she said, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. Especially you. You've always been there for me. I squeezed back. Always. So, she leaned in, voice dropping conspiratorially. How are things with Marcus? The question hung there, loaded with meaning I wasn't supposed to understand. Good, I said. Really good, actually. We've been reconnecting lately. A flash of something crossed her face. Jealousy? Anger? That's great, she said flatly. I know you two have gotten close, I continued, watching her carefully. He's mentioned how much you've helped him understand me better. During your healing process. She blinked. He said that? Yeah. He said talking to you gave him perspective on what I need. Emotionally. I paused. I'm glad he had you to confide in while I was so busy with work. Melissa's smile turned brittle. Of course. That's what family does. Exactly. I raised my wine glass. To family. She clinked her glass against mine, but her hand shook slightly. After lunch, she texted Marcus. I know because Sarah was monitoring their phones. Melissa, Diana seems weird. Asked about us. Think she knows? Marcus, no way. She would have said something. She's probably just stressed. Melissa, maybe. But she was asking about our conversations. How much have you told her about us talking? Marcus, nothing specific. Relax. 2 more weeks and we're free. 2 more weeks. They were planning to tell me after the party. After one final family gathering where they'd both play their roles. I screenshotted everything and sent it to Catherine. The day before the party, I went shopping. Not for the party, for court. I bought a navy suit, conservative but powerful. Pearl earrings. Low heels. The kind of outfit that said credible witness and victim with dignity. Catherine had told me there might be press. Wire fraud involving family members was newsworthy, especially with the social media component. You need to look like the wronged party, she'd said. Not the vengeful ex. The optics matter. That night, Marcus came home with flowers. For you, he said, kissing my cheek. Just because. Guilt flowers. I'd gotten them before, every time he had to work late. They're beautiful, I said. What's the occasion? No occasion. Just wanted to remind you that I love you. I put them in a vase and watched him retreat to his study. In my pocket, my phone buzzed. A text from Catherine, * everything's filed. Warrant issued. Officers will arrive at the party at 3 p.m. Stay strong *. I looked at the flowers. Pink roses. My favorite. Tomorrow, I thought. Tomorrow it all ends. My uncle's 60th birthday party was at my aunt and uncle's house, a sprawling colonial in Bellevue with a view of Lake Washington. By the time Marcus and I arrived at 1 p.m., 30 family members were already there. The backyard was decorated with balloons and a banner reading, "Happy 60th Larry." Melissa was in the kitchen, helping my aunt arrange appetizers. Diana. She hugged me warmly. You look beautiful. That dress is stunning. I'd worn a simple cream sundress. Underneath, my phone was recording everything. Thanks. You look great too. She was wearing white, an interesting choice. Can I help with anything? No, Aunt Linda and I have it covered. Go enjoy yourself. I watched her move through the kitchen with easy confidence. She knew every person here. They'd watched her grow up. To them, she was still sweet Melissa, the devoted daughter, the loyal cousin. Marcus stood with my father and uncle, drinking beer and laughing at some story. Looking at the two of them, you'd never guess they were planning to blow up two families. At 2:45, I excused myself to the bathroom. Really, I was checking my phone. Catherine, officers en route. ETA 12 minutes. My hand shook as I typed back, ready. When I returned to the party, my aunt was calling everyone to gather. Picture time. I want everyone in the photo. We assembled on the back deck. 37 people, 3 generations. My aunt positioned Melissa and me together, arms around each other. Beautiful. The photographer snapped away. Such a close family. The irony was suffocating. At exactly 3:02 p.m., the doorbell rang. My aunt frowned. Who could that be? Everyone's here. I knew. God help me, I knew. My uncle went to answer it. Through the window, I saw him open the door to 2 police officers. Is there a Melissa Chen here? The officer's voice carried clearly. The backyard went silent. Melissa's face drained of color. What? Yes, that's me. What's going on? The officers stepped into view. One was holding a document. Melissa Chen, you're under arrest for wire fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy to commit financial fraud. The words seemed to echo. Melissa stumbled backward. No, this is a mistake. I haven't. You have the right to remain silent. The officer began reading her Miranda rights while his partner produced handcuffs. My aunt screamed. What is happening? She hasn't done anything. The officer looked at me. Are you Diana Chen Martinez? I am. We'll need a statement from you as well. Can you come with us to the station? Marcus's face had gone gray. He was staring at me with an expression I'd never seen, shock, fear, realization. Diana, he whispered. What did you do? I met his eyes. The same thing you'd do if someone stole $70,000 from you and committed identity fraud. I reported it. 70,000? My uncle's voice cracked. Melissa, what is he talking about? Melissa was crying now, mascara streaming down her face. Diana, please. Please don't do this. I can explain. We can work this out as family. You're not family, I said quietly. Family doesn't do what you did. The officer put the handcuffs on her wrists. The click was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. Diana. My aunt grabbed my arm. Stop this. She's your cousin. She's also a criminal. Catherine appeared from the house, perfectly timed. And these charges are federal. Mrs. Chen, your daughter used your niece's joint bank account to steal over $70,000, opened credit cards using false information, and documented the entire thing on social media. The evidence is irrefutable. Another officer appeared. Marcus Martinez? Marcus looked like he might pass out. Yes? You're not under arrest, but we need you to come in for questioning. You're listed as a co-conspirator on several transactions. I don't. Marcus looked at Melissa, then at me. Diana, she said you wouldn't care. She said you weren't paying attention to the accounts. Marcus. The officer cut him off. I'd stop talking without a lawyer if I were you. They led Melissa through the house. Our entire family followed, a stunned, silent procession. At the front door, Melissa turned back one last time. Her eyes found mine across the crowded foyer. I'm sorry, she mouthed. I said nothing. The chaos that erupted after the police cars pulled away was spectacular. My aunt collapsed into a chair, sobbing. My uncle stood frozen, unable to process what had just happened. Cousins and relatives clustered in confused groups, phones out, already texting. Marcus cornered me in the kitchen. How long have you known? His voice was deadly quiet. Long enough to document everything. You set her up. You planned this whole. I reported crimes, I interrupted. That's all. The fact that it happened at a family party isn't my fault. It's hers. They're going to question me. Diana, I didn't know half of what she was doing. You just knew you were funneling our joint assets to fund your mistress's lifestyle while planning to divorce me? He flinched like I'd slapped him. I found the prenup consultation, I continued, my voice steady despite the adrenaline flooding my system. The apartment lease. The Thailand tickets. All of it, Marcus. Every single detail of your perfect little plan. Diana. You're served. I pulled divorce papers from my purse and handed them to him. Catherine filed this morning. You'll find I'm seeking full recovery of all marital assets, including the $70,000 you gave to Melissa, plus damages for financial fraud within the marriage. His hands shook as he held the papers. You can't do this. I already did. My father appeared in the doorway. Diana, we need to talk. I followed him to the study, away from the chaos. Tell me it's not true, he said. Tell me this is some misunderstanding. It's true. All of it. I pulled out my phone and showed him the evidence. The texts. The photos. The bank statements. He read in silence, his face aging with each word. How long? He finally asked. 6 months. Maybe longer. And Marcus? Helped her steal from me. Funded her apartment. Planned to leave me for her. My father sat down heavily. I knew something was off with her. After her breakup. The timing never made sense. There was no breakup, Dad. She left her fiancé for Marcus. The whole crying, devastated cousin thing? It was an act. Jesus Christ. He rubbed his face. Your aunt is going to lose her mind. She already has. Diana. He looked at me with something like awe. You're okay with this? With pressing charges against family? She stopped being family when she betrayed me. And Dad? I met his eyes. She committed real crimes. Wire fraud is federal. Identity theft is serious. If I hadn't reported it, I could have been considered an accomplice. He nodded slowly. Your mother would have been proud of you. Mom would have wanted me to forgive her. No. His voice was firm. Your mother would have wanted you to have a spine. To stand up for yourself. She never got to do that, but you did. He stood and hugged me. I'm proud of you. Even if this tears the family apart. Outside, I could hear my aunt's voice rising. She's your niece. How could you do this to her?